What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
Fuego here.
Back with another review for you guys. This one is for something a little bit different. This is for the first episode in a YouTube series, which we've actually done a trailer reaction for this series, which I actually at the time didn't realize it was going to be a YouTube series when we did the trailer reaction.
Yeah, series of short films.
Yes, and essentially this is what replaced Alien 5. In
Cry.
Yes, exactly. That
All
basically Neill Blomkamp was supposed to do Alien 5, which would have set the record straight after Aliens and ignored Alien 3, supposedly. But that never came to be due to Ridley Scott's
Thanks a
greed.
lot, buddy.
But yeah, as a result, Neill Blomkamp moved on and made his own new Alien series.
Or has at least started the process.
And has involved top-tier talent, including Sigourney Weaver.
Yes,
and
A-list, yo.
And some really seriously interesting and good effects. Creature effects, explosive effects, action effects, all kinds of really cool stuff so far. And so we're going to go ahead and review Volume 1, Episode 1.
Yes.
Which was just released 3 days ago.
Exactly.
As we record this.
Studios, as they are calling this, Rakka.
Yes, this Volume 1 is Rakka.
Yes.
So,
Rakka.
yeah.
The Rakka and the Shaka?
Oh, jeez.
Never mind.
So, does the Rakka, is that the alien race, do you think?
I would speculate as much.
Ones.
Yeah, they're very, it's almost like alligators meets, serpents of some sort meets a human, the fact that they're walking upright and everything.
Meets a Dilophosaurus because they've got
ways,
that thing, that little fin that comes up on the side. But what's interesting about the creature design, and actually a lot of the visual aesthetic for the movie, is the creature's skin sort of moves.
Like a pulsation.
Yeah, or it looks like a black goo that's almost oozing, but it also looks like scales shimmering and stuff. Like it's really an interesting way to depict it.
Or take in the
maybe so, because the whole idea is that essentially aliens have descended upon Earth and have subjugated the humans. To a large degree, not entirely across the globe.
But they killed most of them, and they
killed most of them and
segued into these small little areas where they're either experimenting on them or where there's little rebel factions that are trying.
And they've set up these massive towers, which are methane-producing towers, which are essentially supposed to make the atmosphere better for the aliens and clearly worse for us.
Yeah, way worse.
But even those structures have that weird moving sort of quality to them,
as the Eiffel Tower did in the trailer and in the proper short film itself.
Well, they mentioned that the Eiffel Tower actually has been adorned with human remains by the aliens.
But yet it was still pulsating, so maybe it was the remnants of the experiments, and so for that reason, that's why they're...
I don't know. But
it was gross looking and impressive effects. So,
it really was. I mean, if we're going to do this like a regular review, I'll say that overall, I was really impressed. I was a little lost, but it was the first episode, so I know there's a lot I'm going to learn, but I was super intrigued. I mean, it was definitely sci-fi. There were definitely horror aspects, and
scenes in particular.
But I just want to see what comes in the future from it. Like, I am so intrigued. Like, the number one word I can say about it is intrigued. I really want to know what's going... I don't know what that means.
I was trying to do an eye.
I really want to know what is going to happen going forward here. So, what were your overall thoughts?
Overall thoughts were good groundwork. It's unfortunate that they are trying to seek more funding to make further episodes at this point. It almost is a proof of concept, I think, is a term in the industry that people are really big on, where it's not quite a trailer. Sometimes it is, I guess, but in other instances, it's a specific scene in a film or a long scripted process or whatever that is pivotal and where, if done right, can show this is worthy of people tossing money at it. So yeah, Blomkamp is presumably directing all of these, and I'll watch anything he's done, even though I've watched one thing he's done. I'm just trying to be funny about it because of the fact that Elysium I never watched.
I liked Elysium a lot.
I heard mixed feelings about it. There was some some whitewashing that people were pissed about, like Dane being one of the only in this primarily Hispanic, whatever. I don't know. It was just recently on your beloved friends at Collider that you give me some.
My beloved friends.
That's why I'm being sarcastic.
I don't give you crap about it at all.
A couple podcast listeners were like Chris, for instance, was like, Cecil
me,
doesn't like when you bring it
ago.
up again. Anyway. But I haven't watched Chappie, which in our recent live cast, a lot of people were like, what's up with Chappie?
I am horrible Chappie.
But dude, overall impressions, I want to see more of this universe. I want to see Blomkamp. If we can't have Alien 5, I want to see him create his own world and further that innovation.
Yeah,
so to speak.
I agree.
Yeah.
So moving on to the acting, I thought the acting was good for the most part. Sigourney was good, although man, she's just getting older, and it's so sad to see.
Yeah.
But
I still love her though so much.
But yeah, I don't know that anyone else really stood out to me.
I thought the girl who did the voiceover was good.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I mean,
we barely see her.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But outside of those two, I guess nothing really stood out, but nothing stood out as bad either.
Yeah, I felt the presence of the creatures, and since it looked like it was maybe a real person with a little bit of either mocap, CGI, whatever placed on top, perhaps. I mean.
There's definitely some practical mixed with CG in a lot of this stuff that we saw. Yeah,
which maybe is a good segue to that, but I would say those guys, at least the physical people who were portraying them before the alterations took place, but the alterations were good.
Yeah.
I felt like all of the effects were good. I mean, there was maybe a scene or two where I was like, that could have been done a little bit better, or it was kind of sci-fi, but for the most part, and sci-fi isn't Sci-Fi Channel. But yeah, I'd say practical, especially when heads are getting drilled on and you see some actual physical, legitimate gore in this. The few times we saw that, it was on point. That weird black oozy pulsation of I guess what you would consider their blood, was creepy and effective. And yeah, that's where this shows Blomkamp's vision and how what he wants to do, I think, will serve this treatment well.
Yeah, I agree. And speaking of the effects, the gore effects were really good, and we got a lot of it. And the creature effects were really good, and we got a lot of it. And the tower effects were really good. We got a lot of it. Like I like that it seemed like they put their effort into it. A lot of people might say that not all of the creature effects look great. Like there's one point where a creature has to get up and sort of run at the camera, and that looked a little bit fake. But otherwise. But otherwise, for as much as we saw, to only have that be the standout kind of fake moment, that's a good accomplishment.
And imagine with more money, how much better a scene or two of these would have looked.
Yeah, and the creatures were menacing looking. They're sort of slee-stacky, but sort of in a much more effective way. And so I'm actually really into it. The gore was great as a horror round. The creature effects were great as a creature fan, so I'm fully on board, and I am down to, if not review every episode, at least review the first half and then the second half.
Yeah.
But
being the premiere,
I'm into it. I'm definitely into it. We don't even know how many episodes it's going to be, you guys. So if it's only 3, then we'll just do the whole thing. If it's 6, maybe half and half. If it's 10, half and half. We'll see how it goes. But either way, no matter what it ends up being, I'm on board.
Yeah, I think some of the only criticism that I could think of is the fact that you leaned over to me at one point and were like, this is really feeling like Terminator. And then there was like a lot of echoes of stuff we've seen before in the story. But once again, I mean, we watch slasher movies to death, and it's where you can innovate within concepts we've seen before. And this really did feel like it was making an identity of its own.
Yeah, it really did. Yeah. So yeah, there you go, guys. I think that's going to cover our thoughts. I mean, the music was pretty good. The music and the sound effects were both good. Nothing really stood out, though, that much to me just yet.
Very short.
Sound effects were good, but again, nothing stood out huge amounts that I have to mention it just yet. But definitely serviceable for the project. So. If you guys watched it, let us know in the comments down below. It's free on YouTube right now. Oats Studios Volume 1, 22 minutes long. Yeah. Give it a try. Come back and let us know what you thought of it.
Fun, free entertainment.
Exactly. And hopefully we get the rest of the series relatively soon, because I am super down for it. I dug this.
Down like the clown, Charlie Brown.
All right. Well, that's going to do it, you guys, for our review of Oats Studios Volume 1, Episode 1. Thanks very much for watching. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
Gracias, I've been Jaime Fuego.
And remember, stay scared.